Fakes left, now taken off. Oh, run for it, got it! There it goes! The 6 or the 10 to 5! Oh, the play of the year in the NFL!
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 28 of the Buds Mafia podcast. The boys are battling today, or at least I am. I'm in a tough spot. It was a great weekend. It is my partner and good buddy's birthday today, so everyone clap it up for Jackson. Big old 2-5. Played a nice game of golf yesterday at a nice little morning round at a beautiful course. Weather was awesome. Me and my partner, Owen, we fucking choked. We had like a 4-shot lead, I think, on 12, and then we just kind of just stunk up the rest of the round. And we won 16, lost 17, and then we lost 18. But yeah, then we watched the UFC at Jackson's, and that was a lot of fun. And yeah, it was just a late night. I think I went to bed at like 4 a.m. I got home, I ordered McDonald's, because when I see McDonald's and I see buy one, get one free, it feels criminal not to order. And that's what we did.
10, just to be clear. I couldn't look at the sun because my head hurt so bad. It really went downhill when my brother made the vodka soda with grenadine, and I took one sip and I was like, oh, fuck. A splash of soda. And then Nick has the balls to act like he loves drinks like that. It's not even that bad. Shut the fuck up and drink your Pilsners.
It was
fuck off.
He's like, do you want one, Ryan? I was like, sure, I'll try one.
You got a little bone to pick with him.
A splash of soda.
You know, he already brought up the match. Yeah, he already brought up the match. I don't have a bone to pick with him, but he was getting a little angry at me yesterday, which, you know, fair. We were on a team, if you want to call it that.
Yes.
I don't want to pump my own tires.
Nick?
You know, we were 4 down going into 12. And I had said to Owen, I was like, I'm just going to need to play lights out and somehow make it all square. And I played lights out, and I won 12, 13, 14, and 15. Lost 16. Nick was getting a little mad with me because I was apparently giving you guys fuel and making fun of him, which I was not trying to. But I felt a little stranded out there yesterday, and I felt a little on my own island, which is not nice. And I felt bad, but he made a few shots and I was pumped for him. But like, you know your place. Know your place. I got not much. It wasn't every time he hit a shot. I was like, oh, okay.
You didn't do fuck all yesterday, so I don't know what you can be mad at you for. Yeah, so I think in all time matches we're even now. I'm pretty sure. I think I won the first 2, and then I think you've won the last 2. But yeah, I'll be back. I'll be a big matchup in your cottage in a few weeks, which I'm pumped for. For today's podcast, there's not a ton. Obviously, some RFAs signed, which I'll get into. Some retirements, kind of some remaining UFA, RFA. A nice little trade for Toronto, kind of what's next for them. A lot more stuff for the NFL. A lot more extensions, another retires as well, and some potential holdouts between 2-star players. And just a casual, regular Chiefs receiver on probation, which we will talk about, and as well as the open wrap up in kind of the last few tournaments of the year. I'm getting right into it. 3 RFAs signed after talk about offer sheets and talk about arbitration and everything. But the number one was goalie Lukas Dostal signed a 6.5 times 5-year extension for Anaheim. People thought this was a great signing for Anaheim. I think it is. I think it was a tad much, in my opinion. For a long time of the season, he did lead the league in save percentage, but at the end of the year with, I think, at 3 goals against average and just over 900 save percentage. I mean, you need good goalies to win, but goalies can be so up and down. Like, I think we've said multiple times, like, goalies don't really get good till like later in the career. I still think it's good to lock them up when they had the chance. I don't think it's overpaying, but I think it was a bit much because they goalies can be so up and down. And now that Gibson's gone,
deal in my life.
Right? He's the guy, and now the pressure's on him. I thought it was a fair deal, but I did think it was a little bit much. But I think people thought it was a good deal. But I don't know what you think about that.
Lukas Dostal? Oh, I love him.
You couldn't care less. Yeah, it's your boy. Another RFA, Bowen Byram. He finally signed his extension, 6.5 mil as well as Dostal, but only for 2 years. I think this is a deal that will likely turn into a trade at some point, maybe at the deadline. I think he does like it in Buffalo, and I think he had his best year last year, his career in Buffalo. He played his most games. He has career high, which I think was like 40-something points. He's a good defenseman. I don't think he is in that $8 million range. I think 6.5 is a fair number. I know it's only for 2 years, but I definitely think this is going to be a deal where if he's not happy or Buffalo's still kind of in the bottom of the league, which I still think they will be, I think it'll definitely be trade bait, and that's why they wanted to keep that AAV a little bit down, definitely under 7. So I think it's a fair deal for both teams. Gabe Vilardi also extended 0.5 for 6 years. I think it's a pretty fair deal for both sides. I'm kind of surprised it took that long, if that's the number in the extension. He has injury issues, but we've seen one at his best. He was like almost a point a game for a while and a monster and everything. He was part of that Pierre-Luc Dubois trade. I like the signing for both sides, like I said, for Byram. Again, injury prone, but when he's healthy, he's a heck of a centerman. Can definitely be a number 2 centerman for a cup winning team. So I like that for them. And I think it's good for Winnipeg and the player. If you can stay healthy. Not much other signings. Some news around the league. Yaroslav Halak retired. He was kind of more of a career backup the last few years, but he had some runs in Montreal. I remember when Montreal was the 8th seed and they beat Washington, the number 1 seed. And he had like a 9.7 save percentage. Like he was a monster there. So congrats to him. Blake Wheeler finally retired. He didn't really play much last year, if at all, for the Rangers. Very, very underrated career. He didn't really pop off in Winnipeg till he was like 34, 35. Like he was like a 90-point player for a few years in a row. So congrats. I want to talk a little bit about Crosby because I love the Steve Dangle podcast, but I swear they bring up Crosby trade rumors like every single episode. And yes, it would be awesome for the league, and I can't wait to see it if it does happen. But all I've heard is when you ask like Elliot Friedman, these actual like hockey kind of insiders, they're like, he's not going anywhere till he says he wants to go somewhere. And it's getting kind of annoying at this point. I hear the teams are probably Colorado because the McKinnon Montreal is kind of a boyhood team. Hearing LA. But it's until he wants to get moved, which I think he has stated multiple times he doesn't, and unless maybe Pittsburgh this year is a complete dumpster fire, which I think they are, or they will be. But I'm tired of being these trade rumors because I just don't think it's going to happen at least till I can't even see it being like a trade deadline type move. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's a full on offseason type move, and I think it definitely is not going to be this offseason.
Yeah, it's definitely not this offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe next offseason, but also no,
for sure, yeah.
I don't know. Do you think he still wants to keep playing? Do you think he's going to want to... I thought he would just want to be a Penguin for life, retire, and go back to...
Yeah, I think he'd want to, but I truly think Pittsburgh is going to be... Even this year, I think they're going to be horrible. And honestly, I think next year, because I think Malkin's gone, I think they're going to be so bad. Obviously, if they come last and they get McKenna, maybe Crosby wants to be around him and kind of the team wants him to be around it, but... I don't know. I can't see it being an in-season trade. I think Montreal could definitely use a centerman. They have Nick Suzuki, who I think is incredibly underrated and could be a number 1 center on a cup-winning team, but you need that number 2 guy, and Kirby Dach is constantly injured. I don't think Alex Newhook's good enough to be a third-line center. I had a good chat with Johnny last week, and it was awesome to have him on. And we both agree. We don't think there's going to be much changes in the East playoff picture. He still thinks Toronto's going to be a top 3 team in the Atlantic. I think as well. I know you lose a guy like Marner, and yes, they've made some good moves to comprehend that, but you still lose a 100-point player in the regular season. Come playoff time, I think we're a better team, but I think regular season, we took a bit of a dip, but I still think Toronto's a top 3 team. He thinks Tampa's going to win the division. Every year I doubt Tampa.
I've seen a lot of people say that they think Tampa's going to win the division.
I still think they're a heck of a team. And every year I doubt them for getting older, but they still prove me wrong. I thought Vasilevsky, he had a Vezina year last year. Hedman's getting older, but he had a 70-point year last year. Kucherov's still the best winger in the NHL. But I don't see it. They didn't make many moves this offseason, and they got absolutely embarrassed in the playoffs. I know Florida did that to a lot of teams, but I think Tampa was their easiest competition. Toronto was 7, Carolina was 5, but I thought the games were actually pretty tight besides the last game. and then Edmonton was 6. So I don't know. I thought I'm not too sold on Tampa. I still think they're a playoff lock. I still think they're finish above Montreal. I still think Montreal and Ottawa are going to be playoff bubbles. Like they'll still be the wild card teams.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty well the same as last year.
Yeah, I don't. Even though Detroit got Gibson, I don't think that makes them. Columbus got better, and they were a few points out from making the playoffs last year. So yeah, I have New York again. Everyone had a down year last year, and they have a lot of turnover. He doesn't like their decor, nor do I. But
yeah,
I still
either.
think they have a chance. Yeah, you know all about their decor. Name one defenseman on fucking New York.
Fuck off! Don't do this to me today.
Are you serious?
Don't do this to me today.
You can't name one defenseman on New York. You want a Norris Trophy?
Don't do this to me today.
Come on.
Don't do this to me.
Adam Fox. You know Adam Fox.
I was going to say Ryan Fox.
Close enough. We'll give it to you. Attaboy. But yeah, and I asked him at the end of the podcast, if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. It was a good interview. I asked him, like, what's his, like, your hot take going into, your way too early hot take going into next season. And he said Anaheim making playoffs, which I do agree with. I do think it's their time. I do think they're ready. I don't think it's a lock. I don't think they're a favorite at all, but I definitely think they're going to be knocking at the door.
It'll be interesting to see with the new coach and everything and how they do. Like, I think the beginning of the season will be kind of telling on the direction that they're going to go.
And if Dostal can keep improving, obviously young goalies, the biggest issue with them is consistency. Like that's why the experienced goalies, like you get more consistency out of them, especially in the later games of the season. Like you can light up the first half of the season, doesn't mean fuck all if you don't do the same in the second half.
Yeah.
So we'll see about Lukas Dostal. They're still. I have no idea what's going to happen with Mason McTavish. I love this kid. He's a bulldog. Reminds me a lot of like a young Jonathan Taves. It looks like it seems like he thinks he's getting phased out because again they have Cutter Gauthier, they have Leo Carlson, they just signed Michael Granlund, who's a centerman, but obviously he can probably move on to the wing. And I don't think they want to commit something long term to him, which I don't blame the team, but I feel like he wants something long term, but also he doesn't want to sign long term and have his role diminished. I hear the Leafs are in on him, but I don't know how much they want to give up for that. Montreal would be, like, I think we talk about centerman for them. I think that would be a phenomenal trade for them. I think I would give up a first, a solid roster player, and something else for Mason McTavish. But yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be intriguing to see where he goes. If he kind of signs something similar to Byram, like maybe a short year-term deal that's good, that's easily tradable to move on at some point. But yeah, I want to look at kind of some remaining UFAs and RFAs. Starting with the RFAs, Mason McTavish is obviously atop of them. 76 games last year, 52 points. I mean, he's only, how old is he? He's only like 21, 22, right? As a centerman. So I still think he has so much to do. Yeah, he's really good. Go ahead.
No, nothing. I was just going to say he's young. It's insane.
And he looks like he's 22. I've been raving about this kid. Marco Rossi's probably the top of the list of RFAs. 60 points last year, playing all 82 games. I think he's asking for quite a lot out of Minnesota. He had a career year last year, 60 points. Obviously really good for, again, a guy who's 23. I don't think you want to hand out an 8x8 just yet to a guy like that. I think they're looking at a 3-year deal. And look at, like, who'd rather have, Nyes or Rossi? I know we're biased, but I'd rather Nyes, obviously, at this point in time. I know Rossi had more points, but Rossi's tiny. He's like 5'9", like 170 pounds. Like, he is not a big player. He's super skilled, like super talented. Again, he had more points than Nyes, but you can see, like, those type of players are not gonna...
You gotta be able to beat someone off a puck, though.
Yeah, like, and he can put the points. He can fit well with Kaprizov or on that second line. But yeah, so Nyes signed, 6 years at like 7.5?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm sure you can sign a 5-year by 7 for him. I don't think that's a terrible deal, especially where the cap is going, but interesting to see. Luke Hughes is kind of an interesting one, how he's not signed. Only 21, 44 points last year. I didn't know he had that many points, and it's only 70 games. Had some injury issues, but he can fly just like his brothers. New Jersey has some decisions to make because they're in kind of win now mode, and they've been riddled with injuries with Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier, but they're still a great team, loaded, and you need this kid, especially because I'm hearing Dougie Hamilton rumors coming out of New Jersey, which I find kind of shocking. Again, injury issues with him, but whenever he plays, I think he's a monster. But they gotta get Luke Hughes signed. I'm sure it's similar. They don't want to commit long term. Honestly, I would give him 8x8. I know that may seem like a lot now, but defenseman, Jack Hughes' brother, everything. Like I would give him 8x8 if they can find that in the cap, but maybe they don't have the cap space right now.
I think it makes sense to keep him there too. Play with his brother.
For sure.
I'm sure he probably wants to be there, but he's not. He doesn't want to not be paid, especially being young. And you see the potential that's come out with his brothers, right? Like how much older are his brothers?
So Luke Hughes is 21. I think Jack Hughes is like 22, and then Quinn is
pretty close in age then.
Yeah, Quinn is what, like 25? Let me see. Quinn's pretty fucking young too. He's 25. Yeah, he's 99. And also, there's a thing about. But also, I feel like they're wanting to. The reason I think they want to move Dougie Hamilton is Quinn Hughes is a free agent in 2 years, and it's not a secret. Like I think Jim Rutherford have already said he wants to play with his brothers, right? So that's something that, like these teams, I feel like they plan so far ahead. Like they're
it's unbelievable.
Year one, year two, like you have to. It's like, hey, like what's the 2028 free agent class? Like, hey, I think there's a good chance we can talk to this guy. Like we have to make sure we have this amount of cap space for this year. And I think Luke Hughes, you definitely have to lock up because it's not guaranteeing that Quinn wants to come to New Jersey. But yeah, I think, I don't know how much cap space they have. I definitely think they got to bring a player like that back. Over to UFAs, there's not a ton. Matt Grzelcyk, he had a career year last year, like 40 points, but I think he's an older aging defenseman who's lacks consistency. So we'll see maybe a younger team that maybe needs some veteran leadership on the back end. Jack Roslovic, which I'm hearing a lot, ties in with Toronto because Toronto still needs that kind of top six winger. Almost 40 points last year, and I think he'd do really well. I think he's buddies with Matthews, so I think that'd work really well for them. Victor Olofsson, kind of a hit or miss career. He was a really good start in Buffalo, but his career's kind of fizzled out. And after that, there's not a lot available. I think the trade market will heat up before the season again. Just kind of wrapping up with some more Leafs news. Obviously, the trade, which happened the other day, which definitely caught me by surprise. I did not see this coming. I did not know this guy was on the block. Dakota Joshua came to Toronto for just a 4th round pick, I think in 2028, like not for a while.
Yeah, it was a 2028 pick, yeah.
And I definitely caught me by surprise. I do like this a lot. We had the cap space. I think we now just have, just over $2 million in cap space, which is still good because still kind of make some wiggle room. I know they're trying to do a package of Camp and Yarncroke for kind of like a salary dump, which I think is great. I think Camp makes like 2.4, which is way too much for a fringe 4th liner. Like he barely played in the playoffs. I think 2.4 is wild.
Yeah, he did barely play. He's just so hot and cold.
When we signed him, I think at the beginning of his career at Toronto, I loved Camp. I thought he was great on the PK, and he's not bad. I just think 2.4. Now he's not worth 2.4. No, and Yarncroke, I like Yarncroke too. I think he works hard, not a ton of skill, but he kind of can move up and down the lineup. I like him more than Camp, but I think if you can tie a trade, because that's like $4.5 million between those two guys right there.
Yeah.
I think they want to free up. I think they want to free up some more space before. I think they will sign Roslovic, which I do like, a right-handed shot, speedy winger to play with Nyes and Matthews, which I don't think they have the money. Like they've just over $2 million, I think. And I think he can get around 2 to 3 around there. But if he's not signed yet, I don't think he's asking for a ton. I think he's just trying to get a job. So I think they want to make a move first to kind of free up that space and free up a roster spot. I'm not sure where Cowan will fit in. I'm sure he'll play on the 3rd line with like maybe a Domi and McMahon, which I would love that.
That'd be nice.
That'd be sick. I think a first line of Nyes, Matthews, and Roslovic. Then Tavares, Nylander. That's where it kind of gets tough. Like I feel like Domi and Nylander probably play a lot together. So Domi maybe on the 2nd line, which I like Domi. I think he's a great 3rd liner. I don't know about a 2nd liner. But either or, then maybe Cowan, McMahon, Nick Wall. Oh, fuck, sorry, Michelli. No, Michelli will be Michelli, Nylander, and Tavares. I like that 2nd line. And I think a 3rd line of Waugh, Domi, and either McMahon or Cowan would work really well. McMahon on the 4th line would actually be really nice, too. I don't hate that as well. Johnny Lazarus asked me if he's a top 6 player. I said no, he's not. At his best, I still think he'd be an above average 3rd liner, McMahon, which I'm more than okay with that. I think he hasn't hit 20 goals before, but hey, if your 3rd or 4th liner can get 17, 18 goals, I'm more than okay with that. Just inconsistent. He's flat up like north-south skater. I think he kind of picked his game up in that Florida series. I think he had a great game 6 in that series, and then same thing with Ottawa. Lacks consistency. There were stretches last year where I thought this guy would crack our top 6, and like push like 20, 25 goals. I don't know what your thoughts on him at times, but definitely lacks consistency.
I thought he was going to be a lot better.
Yeah,
He's still really good, and I think having Berube as the head coach makes a difference.
Yeah.
I think you might see him trend in a bit of a better direction this year. It's always difficult the year of a coaching change to kind of catch your stride right away, you know, and especially for some of the guys who are not in McMahon's not necessarily a fringe player, but wasn't the top core four. It's a little bit more difficult to find your groove because that coach is going to spend a lot of time with, you know, the guys up front. So I don't know. I think you should see him take a bit of a step forward this year.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, and it's kind of the same thing, it's kind of tough. You know, you got to kind of start having conversations.
I talked to McMahon with my dad once, and we thought he was a young guy. Do you know how old he is?
Yeah, he's like almost 30, isn't he?
Yeah, I swear he was like not young. I thought he was like 24, 25. And I was like, oh shit, he's like 30.
Yeah,
he grinded. He played in the AHL for a while. He just kind of worked his way up. I think he played like 5 years at college, and I was like, oh shit, this cat's like 30 years old. Sorry, we talked about the Joshua trade. I didn't really kind of even deep dive in it, but that's another third, fourth line guy. I remember when Vancouver was a top team 2 years ago, and that third line of him, Garland, and Elias Lindholm in the playoffs, they were unreal. He got like 20 goals, almost 20 assists, like a 40-point year. I think he had like 200 hits last year. Again, this is the DNH switch that Tree Living was talking about, right? This is the type of players you need. Yes, you need big bodies, you need guys who can hit and everything, but they also need to know how to play the game. Like I think a few times Toronto has got a lot of tough guys like Reeves and everything like that. But yeah, Florida's tough and they can match that. At the same time, they're tough, but they also can play the fucking game.
They're tough,
they're
but
smart
they're also
players.
skilled,
They're skilled as hell. Like Bennett is tough as shit, but he's also a heck of a player. And all those guys on the middle six, same thing, right?
Seth Jones, like everyone wrote him off. Everyone wrote him off when he was in Chicago. And that one goal he scored against Toronto, I think it was in Game 7. I was sitting there and I was like, good Lord, man. Like,
he's a horse, dude. And it's like I think when we brought the podcast, I was shocked. Like I was like, oh damn, Florida has 5 more years at paying this guy 7.5, and now it's like, fuck, 5 years at 7.5.
It's a bargain.
It's crazy. Yeah, I can't remember someone who said like a Hall of Fame defenseman said don't blame a defenseman on a bad team. Like oh my god, he was minus 30. Yeah, well Chicago won 20 games, right? Like it's just, and he played 30 minutes a night. Yeah, put him on. He literally went from the worst team in the league to the best team. Like, don't you think that helps a guy's confidence and like willingness to want to be the best? Like, 5 more years, 4 more years at 7.5. Fuck, dude. I think open market, he'd sign for over 9, right?
Easily.
I mean, that's actually, well, basically, sorry, he does make 9 because of the 7.5 because of the retention. But I think it's a great trade, and for both teams, I still think Chicago got that Spencer Knight.
Yeah,
right?
that was huge.
Yeah, so good for them. But yeah, and again, back to Joshua. I feel like he's just moving on and coming back to him. I like it. He had a down year last year, but Vancouver has had a bunch of down years. I mean, he was battling like testicular cancer, right? Middle of the season. So like,
Jesus.
He didn't have an off season. He didn't have a training camp. He came back. He actually played great. I think this was like a management also for the player's sake. Like, let's just help this kid find a new home, a fresh start. He battled a lot. And he's a fucking monster. He's like 6'3", 220. And again, at his best, as a third liner, he had 20 and 20. So again, a trade that caught me off guard, but a third line of him, Domi, Cowan, there's a lot of different possibilities. Wall,
a lot of possibilities. I think you're going to see a lot of different line changes and stuff.
Yeah. And again, I think our depth has massively improved with Michelli, Wad, Joshua, all this, but we still need a game breaker on that top line. We still need a guy to fit in. I'm hearing Toronto is in on Dawson Mercer from New Jersey, which I think would be a trade for them to free up cap space for a Luke Hughes. He only makes he makes $4 million for another year, maybe 2 years actually. I think 2 more years. Kind of inconsistency issues too, but every year he's gotten 20 and 20, and he's fast, he's skilled. His rookie year, he had like 50 points playing with Jack Hughes. So I think he's a player where he's not going to drive a line, but you don't really need him to. It's more put him with the right players, and he can put up over 20 goals. Right here, let me look at his kind of top stats here. So yeah, he's a righty. He's 23 years old. Rookie year, he had 17 goals, 42 points. Second year, so 2 years ago, he had 27 goals, 56 points. Last 2 years, he had 20 goals each, but then 15 assists. He can put up points, put him with the Nyes and Matthews, and I think that'd be a great trade.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that the Leafs may have to give up a defenseman in order to get one of these forwards. Like I'm hearing Carlo rumors.
Yeah.
Which at the start I was okay with, but I like Brandon Carlo. I always say, because I was a defenseman growing up myself, if you don't know as a defenseman, they're doing their job. And I think he's tough. He's a great 6th guy on their defense. I think when they put them together, I actually think Riley actually played really well.
I think
season, and I think the season of them two together could be really well. Obviously, you're going to keep McCabe, Tanev, and then OEL and Benoit. But also, if we got Carlo for Mercer, I wouldn't hate that either. I think that'd be a smart trade for Tree Living to do. Because I don't want to trade Danford, our first rounder from last year, and I obviously don't want to trade Cowan. I think we've said multiple times, I think it's time we finally give Cowan a shot.
Yeah,
and I think he will get one.
Shot. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have much else. I wrote down Marner's return January 23rd, fuck. I asked my dad who he thinks going to get a worse treatment, Tavares or Marner. He thinks Tavares' treatment will be worse or end up being worse than Marner's. I don't know. Like, yes, I think Tavares maybe, in my opinion, he maybe misled the organization. Where he maybe was saying he would sign, he loves it there. Or I think the Toronto organization knew Marner was leaving. I don't think there's any like speculation about that. Where Islanders still think they had a shot to bring back Tavares, and he got fucking ridiculed. But
he still gets booed to this day.
He still gets booed. He will get booed till the day he retires. But
Marner is going to get booed though.
Do you think Marner's reception is going to be worse than Tavares's? Tavares was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I think the first little bit, though, is going to be pretty...
Toronto fans are going to be such assholes. So, I think... Like, I was at a playoff game a few years ago when they missed a call and then people were chucking beer cans on the ice. So, it'll be tough. And he will get absolutely ripped apart. But, yeah, I won't be one of them. But, I will be. Just kidding.
Yeah, definitely not.
I won't be. All right, moving on. Our final topic for hockey. My question for Jackson is, because his fucking question for me is ridiculous. I'm still rattled about it. But yeah, so the Quebec Nordiques used to be a team in the NHL. I'm positive you know about that. Still trying to fight to be back in the NHL, but I don't think it's going to happen. But what team did the Quebec Nordiques turn into? What franchise? Where do they relocate? And it's a team still to this day, they're in the NHL.
Fuck. I used to have a bunch of Quebec Nordiques hockey cards.
When the year they moved to this city, they won the Stanley Cup, which is crazy.
That actually doesn't help, so thank you.
They moved to the team in 96. I know you won't know, but 96 is when they moved. And then they won the cup.
I want to say Carolina, but I think that's wrong.
The Western Conference team.
Oh, I don't know. Fuck.
You know?
No.
Colorado.
Yeah, I feel like I probably should have got that. That sucks.
No, it's like people forgot. Like Joe Sakic was.
That was that's what I was going to say.
He had like 6 or 7. He had like 6 or 7 years in Quebec, and then they actually turned out to be a nasty team because there's the Eric Lindros trades, which gave them Peter Forsberg. They had Joe Sakic, all these guys, and then it's like just got bankrupt, so they moved to Colorado. Then they traded for Patrick Waugh in their first year. They won the cup, and then they became like one of the best teams of all time. Yeah, so that was my question for you. I didn't think you were gonna get it.
No, that's all right.
Well, you said Carolina. What team was the Carolina used to be?
Well, now, the guy. I don't need an extra question. I don't need to look extra stupid.
All right, Hartford was the answer.
I was gonna say the Hartford Whalers. No big deal, but whatever.
No, you fucking were.
Yeah, I was. All right. We'll move
a lot
over
of NFL news. A lot more.
Yeah, there was a lot
signings,
more NFL news.
Some record-setting deals.
Okay, yeah, we'll just start with that. I was ripping the Steelers all week last week. I was like, man, if they don't get him signed, it will be ridiculous. And then I don't know if you saw what JJ Watt posted on Twitter. He's like, if this man even lets me reach for my wallet at a dinner, I will lose my mind. JJ Watt, I think over the 10 or 11 years he was in the NFL, he made $124 million.
TJ just
signed for 123 over 3 years.
Is it like 90 guaranteed? Isn't it something fucking crazy?
It's insane. It's like basically 40 something million.
So he's
1 or 2 per year.
He's the highest paid non-QB
non-quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, the record-setting deal.
Deserving. He's like every year, like in the game, he's a game breaker. He's still the best, like one of the best defensive players in the league. Fully healthy, he probably is the best, right? Like he's fucking phenomenal.
It's kind of a race between them in the Bengals. I don't think, obviously, Trey Hendrickson's really good. I don't put him on the same pedestal as TJ Watt, but, his price point went up for sure. It doesn't make a difference whether or not he's like the exact same player. He's still really good. Whether or not he wouldn't get that much money, but his price point went up. So I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see what happens with the Bengals. But yeah, shout out TJ Watt. We also got Sauce Gardner, 4 years at $120 million. Fucking insane. Considering Brandon Bean, the Bills re-signed Christian Benford as 4 years for $77 million. So feeling pretty good about that. I think he's probably worth it. Yeah. $120 million seems like a lot to me.
I've never seen that type of money for a cornerback. That's a lot.
But the Jets are trending in a relatively good direction, and you have a good core group of younger guys there that you kind of want to keep happy. And them also signing Garrett Wilson, who was making a little bit of noise, 4 years for $130. Like, I think those two signings for them is pretty good. That's going to be the core of your team for the next 5 years. You want to make sure, next 4 or 5 years, you want to make sure that they're happy, they're paid, especially given, the Justin Fields thing. We want to see how that turns out. Some other news too. George Karlaftis, great rusher / linebacker for the Chiefs. Another 4-year contract, $93 million extension. Well-deserved. Gross. Love George Karlaftis for a long time. Hate that he's on the Chiefs. Unbelievable player, though. Yeah, it was a little bit busier as we kind of gear up. I think training camp starts next week. As we gear up towards training camp, you're going to see a lot more moves. Trey Smith also signed an extension. I think it makes him the highest paid offensive lineman or highest paid guard in the NFL. I think that was also a 4-year deal. I don't know the exact money, but
I didn't see the money either. Yeah,
the Chiefs are doing what the Chiefs need to do. They need to bolster their O-line. Patrick Mahomes should be happy. Their O-line was kind of their downfall last year. But yeah, and then free agent Von Miller finally signed. I did kind of think that the Bills were going to re-sign him. I think with all the guys they drafted, though, and some of the guys they brought in, like Joey Bosa, I just don't see the need for him there anymore. And him going to Washington, it makes sense. Good veteran leadership. He's not going to be the Von Miller that he was, even in Buffalo, like last year. He wasn't amazing last year, but he was still pretty good. He'll be good to get you enough, right? And kind of bolster
and their defense
that
needed help, I think. I feel like their offense here, they're putting up 30 a game, but come playoff time, your defense needs to fucking lead the team. And I think they kind of got crumbled.
But speaking of the Commanders, Gary Terry, a little bit frustrated over contract talks. He wants to be in Washington. He stated that he wants to be in Washington. Just frustrated there hasn't been a lot of communication back and forth between him and the team. He wants to get it done. I assume that they're probably arguing over. It's probably about a number.
It seems like usually be like the guaranteed money seems to be most of the time the issue.
Well, you're seeing like a lot of the contracts you're seeing nowadays are all like the guaranteed money's huge. Yeah, so
it's massive.
I don't know. I think he'll get signed. Like I would be so surprised if he were to ever be moved from Washington, but it's definitely
more or less than Garrett Wilson. You think he's going to get paid or deserves to get paid?
He deserves more, in my opinion.
Yeah,
he's a little bit older, but the production's definitely there. Garrett Wilson also hasn't had he hasn't had a chance to shine with the quarterback carousel they've had in New York. He is still relatively young. He's obviously really good. But like if you were going to give me Terry McLaurin or Garrett Wilson for the Bills, I'd probably take Terry McLaurin. But Garrett Wilson's really good. Like I think he has the upside potential that money is kind of deserved.
And so Garrett Wilson's 24, and last year he had 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. He's 29, and he had 13 touchdowns and basically 1,100 yards as well. So pretty similar seasons, but a lot more touchdowns for Terry.
Yeah, and that's just the go ball is, Jaden Daniels got a go ball. So
I heard teams linking him to people are not saying he's moving on, but people are linking him to like the Chargers, especially we'll talk about Mike Williams retiring, but they think that would be a nice link up and that'd be scary with Herbert and scary Terry, especially for that division.
Yeah, it would be. The Chargers are just so weird though. It's like every year you think they're going to be good because, people put Justin Herbert on the same kind of echelon as these other quarterbacks like a Josh Allen and stuff like that. And it's getting to the point where it's like,
put up or shut up. Like big games, he has not really been that guy.
Kind of got to go, right? And I think Terry McLaurin be there would be good, but like he also had Keenan Allen. You know, Mike Williams isn't amazing, but he was good enough. You know, he had Josh Palmer, who's a good threat. Like he's had good receivers. He's had, you know, the Quentin Johnson. He's had some drop problems like in his first few years, but big body wide receiver, pretty good overall. Like he's had good receivers. It's just more or less the production value in the big games. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
They got, what's his name again? The white guy. What's his name? On the Chargers.
They draft him this year?
No, he had the rookie year last year. He was a
Ladd McConkey.
Ladd McConkey, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. So, I mean, I saw some people on ESPN predicting they're going to come first in the division, the Chargers. Like, the Chiefs, the Broncos. Is that the Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers?
Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, and Raiders.
Raiders, yeah. I really like the Broncos. I mean, even in that playoff game against the Bills, even though they were just scared at the beginning part of the game, like I thought the Broncos looked really good. I think they have a very bright future, especially with the quarterback Bo Nix. But we'll see. And I mean, they have one of the best coaches in the NFL too, right? So
yeah. That division's always interesting, but then it's just the Chiefs. It's like, you know, I don't know. It'll be interesting overall this year. Like I'm really interested. All right. And then we'll throw it back over to some Chiefs news. Rashee Rice. So I think it was this past year, he got in a car accident on a highway, got out of the car and ran away from it. Ended up that he is going to have 5 years of probation and he will have to serve 30 days in jail over the course of the 5 years of his probation. Just wild. Insane. Some of these NFL players, man, sometimes I'm just like, you're a notable figure in your community. What you're going to get into a car accident and run away, and a person is not going to be like, oh, that's Rashee Rice. I remember him catching a touchdown last weekend, and now he just totaled my car. Sick.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But yeah, I assume that he'll probably serve the 30 days, or I assume that he can probably do something like they'll probably make it work. That I don't know if he'll end up having to serve the 30 days. I haven't looked quite straight into the details, but yeah, he just has to serve the 30 days over the 5 years of probation. So, you know, it could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. The people at the time were calling for his head suspension, possible bans from the NFL. People want these players to be held accountable for their actions, especially like this all kind of started coming more to light with after the whole Henry Ruggs thing, which I don't know if you saw. He was allowed out of
he spoke
jail.
at something.
He spoke at something, talked to the victim's family, apologized, and was speaking about driving under the influence, etc., and kind of his life story. You know, I do kind of think I'm interested to see, because I think he's eligible for parole next year.
I think in 2027 or something. I think teams are looking at it too.
Teams,
right?
and teams will be looking at him. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Do I think he's going to be the Henry Ruggs that he was when he was with Las Vegas? I don't know, but it'll be interesting. You know what? If someone is able to kind of
rehabilitate themselves, take
responsibility for their actions, you know, obviously a very shitty scenario. I think Nick Saban probably said it best when he was talking, like when he was asked about it. He's like, we're going to sit and focus on the guy whose life has now been ruined, when he should have had friends there to be there for him, tell him not to go get in the car and stuff like that. Like, you know, so yeah, it's I don't know. It's Rashee Rice, Chiefs, gotta love it. Micah Parsons is frustrated with Jerry Jones. What's fucking new?
I don't know what's gonna happen there. I mean,
he's gonna get paid.
They've paid their top dogs. They paid Prescott. They fucking paid CeeDee Lamb. I know at both times were a bit more controversy. I mean, CeeDee Lamb was definitely more controversy than the Dak Prescott. But where do you put Micah in like in the league current like edge rushers or the kind of defensive lineman? Like, where do you put him?
Probably go like
the entire league.
Myles Garrett, TJ Watt.
Do you have him over Bosa, or do you got Bosa over him?
Probably put Nick. I'd probably put Parsons above Bosa right now.
Nick have a defensive player of the year? He does.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I don't think, because Micah doesn't have one, I don't think.
Micah's just a dog. I really like his playing style. He does get blown off the ball a lot though. Like he's good for splash plays and flashy plays, but I'd put him in the top 10 of edge rushers. I'm hesitant to say top 5.
Yeah.
because I feel like I'm definitely missing someone. But yeah, like I definitely put him in the top 10. I kind of really like him, but I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I think he's probably top 5. Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
think he has
Miles Garrett, TJ Watt. I mean, Bosa's got that defensive player of the year, so I think you probably got to give him over Parsons, but I think Parsons is definitely top 5. I feel like I'm missing someone.
That's what I was saying. Like you could put Trey Hendrickson up there considering the year he had last year.
For sure.
You know, you could put, I'm missing someone and it's pissing me off. But yeah, we'll go quickly over. I really want to ask Ryan this question, so I'm going to go over the top 100. I think it's 80 to 71 this week.
Also, Aiden Hutchinson, too. I saw Aiden Hutchinson as well. Pre-injury, Aiden Hutchinson, he was run away for the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, he's definitely in the top 10. I don't know about the top 5.
Yeah, okay. A good topic. But yeah, let's 80 to 71.
Yeah, so we got Rashawn Gary, Packers D-end. Last year, he dropped 30 spots. Last year, he had 17 games, 47 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 15 QB hits, 7.5 sacks. Forced fumble. He took a slight dip in 2024, so that's, I guess, why he dropped so much. Basically, base defense last year was abysmal. I think, I don't know, I've always kind of liked Rashawn Gary. Good D-end, good rusher, kind of solidifies that Packers defense. Then we got Dak Prescott, dropped 63 spots down to number 79. Obviously only played 8 games. Got the season-ending hamstring injury. In 8 games, though, he had 64% completion percentage, 1,900 yards, 6.9 yards per attempt, 11 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Wasn't on track for probably one of his best seasons. In 8 games, he had 12 turnovers. So, you know, he's been riddled with injuries over and over. But he's kind of just perennially for the last little while been the Cowboys. The Cowboys before the past few years have always, everyone's like, oh, they're going to fucking suck, whatever. And then they somehow always end up 13-3, always end up losing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they always somehow like rip like 13 wins, 12 win seasons.
Yeah. They'll always get 10 plus wins. It seems like
it'll be really interesting to see how he does this year, especially with Joe Milton. I love Joe Milton. I think he could be really good for them. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how it goes this year over in Dallas. And then Khalil Mack, outside linebacker for the Chargers. Again, pretty well like just a perennial name in the NFL. A lot of people know of him. He dropped 49 spots, though. He's 78. In 16 games, he had 39 tackles, 6 tackles for losses, 6 sacks, 9 passes deflected, 2 forced fumbles. He was a lot better than in previous years, and he did get another, I think, a 1-year deal going into his 12th season. There was rumors that he might go to the Bills. I was not super pumped on it. I thought it would kind of be like the Von Miller situation, but he's always been pretty good. For the first time, T. Higgins makes his debut. I think it's well-deserved. Had some injuries this offseason, or like during the season, but in 12 games, 73 receptions, just about cracked 1,000 yards, 911 yards receiving, 12.5 yards per reception, 10 receiving touchdowns. Like the fact that fucking Cincinnati will pay T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and then not end up paying Trey Hendrickson is so wild to me. But obviously there's a lot of production value for their offense. I don't know how many times I said it, but they just want to outscore you every single game. And hopefully Joe Burrow just goes nuclear all the time. 400 passing yards, fucking 4 touchdowns. Also, another one that's making their first appearance, Vita Vea. I love Vita Vea.
He's a monster.
Monster human, great team guy, just consistent all the time. In 16 games, 42 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 13 QB hits. This 7th season in the NFL, and this first time kind of cracking into the top 100 is crazy to me, but he has been pretty insane just for that Tampa defense kind of anchoring them. And the Bucs are kind of trending in the right direction with how it's going with Baker. I don't know. I like the Bucs a lot. All right. Patrick Queen comes in at 75. I've always liked Patrick Queen. He had a bit of a down year last year. He did fit into it pretty well. Played every single game. I say a down year because he wasn't as flashy as he was when he was on Baltimore, in my opinion. But in 17 games with the Steelers, he had 129 tackles, 6 tackles for losses, 5 QB hits, 1 sack, 7 passes deflected, 2 forced fumbles. He just has been pretty consistent through and through ever since he came from LSU. Like that LSU team produced, I think the 2019 championship LSU team produced insane players. Players. You got Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I believe, was on that team. Patrick Queen was on that team. There's a few other defensive guys that were on that team, and they are all all-stars in the NFL. Another kind of perennial linebacker, Bobby Wagner for Washington. He had 17 games, 32 tackles, 10 tackles for loss. And basically, Dan Quinn and Wagner getting there to turn the defense around. I love Dan Quinn as a head coach, and Wagner kind of just anchors that defense. He did drop 15 spots. It's the 10th time that he's appeared on the top 100 in his career. That is fucking insane.
That's crazy.
All right. Christian McCaffrey, 73. He only dropped he dropped 70 spots. Okay, that makes sense.
I was to say only.
Yeah. He dropped 70 spots. He was riddled with injuries. This is unbelievable, the amount of injuries some of these people have fucking gotten. In 4 games, though, 50 attempts, 200 rushing yards, 0 touchdowns. He went from being the 2023 rushing leader to just playing 4 games, and that sucks. It's unbelievable. The NFL is humming when Christian McCaffrey is playing. 72, we got Sam Darnold, cracks the top 100 for the first time. 17 games, 66.2% completion percentage, 4,300 passing yards, 35 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 8 fumbles. Jesus. But I think overall, Darnold proved that he can be pretty great quarterback. I think that's why you saw him go to Seattle, get that 3-year deal for, I think it was like $100 million. Kind of showcase what he can do. I think it's interesting the Vikings are going to ride with JJ McCarthy. I don't hate it, but I don't love it for them. I think, they're still going to be good, but it'll be very interesting to see kind of what goes on from there. And then last but not least, Kirby Joseph, safety for the Lions. He's pretty good. He has gotten some flack because of how he plays. Apparently, people think he wants to injure when he hits. There's a famous clip, I believe, of when he goes to try and take out TJ Hawkinson and he aims for his knees.
And Stafford kind of confronted him. I remember that in the middle of the game.
Yeah. But in 17 games, he had 58 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 9 interceptions, which is gross, and 1 touchdown. So obviously pretty key contributor to their defense overall. That 9 interceptions is crazy. And he became the highest paid safety in the league after this year, $86 million contract extension. So that's pretty good. All right, let's get over to this question because I've been dying to ask it. Could you tell me what year the New York Jets beat the Philadelphia Eagles for the very first time?
I feel like it's recent if you're asking me this. I feel like this is not like a 1990s thing that you wanted to bring up. I'll say 2021.
That's close. It's close. 2023.
Jesus Christ.
And can you guess how many times they played them before they beat them?
Well, if that was the first time,
it's not as high as a number you'd think.
2023, yeah. I'll say they were 1 in 10.
It's the 13th attempt is when they won. The 13th time playing the Eagles.
All right.
I thought it was a fun question.
Great question, Jackson. People are riveting over that.
Go fuck yourself.
All right, moving on. Go to the PGA, last major of the year.
It's an absolute clinic from Scottie.
Yeah, he's a joke. I mean, what were your thoughts on his kind of his pre-tournament presser when he basically said once I win, like, it's kind of move on, go to the next. Like, people treat it differently. Basically, it seems like it's just
different strokes
for him.
Yeah, it's just different folks. Like people want to sit there and say that, oh, he doesn't care about golf and all this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, well, if you watched him today, he made 2 back-to-back pars from like 15
and he was fist
feet.
pumping. He was
fist pumping because he was up 7 shots. Like,
yeah.
I don't care. It's the exact same thing when like people get mad at Rory for saying he doesn't want to talk to the media.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. They're people. They're not just golfers.
Yeah.
It's like they're not just NFL players or hockey players. They're people. I I don't know. I didn't care.
I didn't
people
either.
getting mad. There was a lot of like traditional golf fan. What did you think about the Grant Horvat thing?
I thought it was fucking. I love Grant Horvat. I think that was ridiculous on his part. Like,
Yeah, me too.
Like, yes, you are killing it right now. You're on the top YouTube. Probably, I mean, if you don't count Bryson, because obviously Bryson's still a professional, but like he's probably the top content creator, like golfer in the world. Like I think it's no brainer for the waves. I mean, he films like Phil Mickelson and like Tiger. Like it's insane. But yeah, like your dreams have been as a young kid to become a professional golfer. I know you're trying to film kind of different stuff now, but like you get invited to a PGA Tour event and you say no because you can't bring your film crew, which I don't blame the PGA saying that as well. Like this is a PGA Tour event.
Professional
they
event.
have cameras, yeah. So I don't know. I didn't see his video of it. I didn't see a video of him like breaking it down, but
I mean,
thought it was
I
kinda
get it from
ridiculous.
both sides, but like, I don't know. If it was me and I was like, I asked the PGA Tour, I was like, hey, can I bring my YouTube crew and film? If I was the commissioner of the tour, I'd be like, you mean our nationally televised event that will you want to bring your YouTube film crew? Like, fuck
And
off.
I feel like they'd be worried about pace of play too and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and maybe interact like just maybe the guys playing with and stuff like that. So I don't blame. I don't think he was ill at that. I don't think he's like fucked PGA for not letting me film. I think he's just like, oh, they didn't let me film, so I didn't really want to do it. So it's
No,
whatever.
but-
I thought it was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't agree with it. I thought it was dumb.
But with the Open, I think it's fair to say I won. I know I had Scottie, but you had two tops. You had two tied for sevens and a tied for fourth.
See,
This
this
is
is
probably
what
our
we
best.
said. Yeah, this is what we said last week, though, is that if you have the one guy who wins, like, you think you kind of just gotta.
But also, I did have another tie for seven, and Rose. I think this is probably one of our best showings.
Yeah,
Right, like I had a win, tied for seventh, tied for 16th with Rose, and you had Rory tied for seventh, Matt Fitzpatrick, great tournament, tied for fourth, and McIntyre tied for seventh. I think it's our best showing, so that puts me at 14 and 11, and I think we're dead even on majors. I think we're 2-2. I think you won the Masters, and I think you won the U.S. Open, and I won the PGA, and now the Open. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, because you picked Scottie for the PGA, and Scottie
Yes.
won the PGA.
Yeah,
and I
and
can't
US
remember who
Open.
I picked for the U.S. Open.
I can't remember. I think you won, and I think because the Masters you had Rory, so that's why you won for the Masters. So your brother brought us up last night. I know it sucks that we're finding this out kind of at the end of the season, right? But there's PGA fantasy, which I did not know about.
When he
And
said
I think
it,
this is
I've never had a more of an epiphany moment in my life. Of like,
I looked
what
at
am
you and I
even
was like,
doing?
why? What are we doing? Yeah. And I think maybe for next season, I know that sucks that's happening right now, but I like it how we also do something where you can only pick a player once for
Yeah,
the
I
whole
like
year.
that.
Or, every 6 weeks or something like that, right? We can kind of play around with it. But yeah, I just think because it's Scottie or Rory every fucking time, right? Like every single time. Which do you blame us? But yeah, I think that's true. You save the top guys, you find someone new. I think it makes it a lot more interesting. A lot more research goes into it. I think for next time we should definitely think about doing that.
Yeah, I agree. What's
so
up?
the PGA, so it's through the 3M Open in Minnesota this week.
Yes.
Is
the
it then?
3M.
Is it 3M and then is it right into the St. Jude? Is this the last tournament of the year?
I think so.
So did I win the whole Oh no, Wyndham, the Wyndham.
The Wyndham and then the St. Jude. Well, I was thinking about it or like when I got home today, just thinking about we can do like regular season winner and then we'll just do playoffs. And
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So I think you picked
I picked first,
So let's see here. I'll go with the calmest man in the game. I'll go with Wyndham Clark first. He
God, he played unbelievable today.
He had a great end of the tournament today. And I'll go with him as my first pick.
I'll take Homa.
I'll go with Akshay.
I like that. You know what? Give me Taylor Pendrith.
There he is. Not a crazy star-studded field. I mean, it's the first tournament after the Open, but still some names. I'll go with Sam Burns.
Yeah, I like that. Give me Jonathan Vegas.
Johnny Vegas. Love it. Yeah. Let's go to our locks. Well, big news. It's not only just Jax's birthday today, but we have our first ever Bet the Farm win.
Love that.
Your boy. Yes, our Bet the Farms have gone down in terms of value, but that doesn't fucking matter. It was still a plus 1,700, still a big dub. My bets recently have been hitting. I had that massive golf bet. Me and Caitlin won a nice chunk of change last night. So the boys been humming. So now we are tied for lock. We're both 6-21. Jesus. Which I won the lock of the week as well last week. So that's good. And Bet the Farm, I am now 1-23. So I think we said the over under at like 50 for Bet the Farms. Oh, hell yeah for us.
Huge for us.
So my lock, I'm going to the Summer League here for the NBA. Couldn't tell you who these guys are, but I like this bet. Devin Carter, 20-plus points. KJ Simpson, 5-plus assists. And Nick Clifford, 5-plus rebounds, $10 to return 42. And for my Bet the Farm, I got the Dodgers over the Brewers, which are up 4-3. Mariners over the Astros, which are tied. Diamondbacks over the Cardinals, which are up 5-2. Tigers over the Rangers. I got the Hawks over the Celtics. Clippers over the Grizzlies. And Kings over the Hornets, $5 to win 180.
Nice. All right, my lock of the week is just the Dodgers over the Brewers, the Mariners over the Astros, Diamondbacks over the Cardinals, which winning in 2 of those games, the other one is tied, and then I took the Tigers over the Rangers, 5 to pay out 16, and then I got to make the Bet the Farm right now, and I'm just going to do this, do that, do this. I basically repeated the lock of the week. I'm going to take the Ticats tonight with Kenny Lawler touchdown.
There you go.
And that is... Give me 1 second.
It's fine.
Anyway, yeah, it's done. I'm not sure. I'm struggling.
This is a struggle of a podcast. Yeah, at the beginning, my Wi-Fi was all over the place. It was horrible. It was so hard to start this fucking thing. But we got to do it. It turned out to be really good, but the boys are battling. I'm going to go have a nice dinner, then probably lay in bed the rest of the night. I am so exhausted.
Nothing else.
Watch a movie or something. Great talking to you, Jackson. Happy birthday again. It was a great weekend golfing. And late night last night. Yeah, wish the boy happy birthday. Check Buds Mafia on YouTube, Spotify, and all other podcasting platforms, as well as Buds and Pucks on Twitter, Instagram, X, and all that good stuff. Happy birthday again, Jackson, and I will talk to you next week.
Cheers, brother.
Fakes left, now taking off. Gonna run for it again.